My name is Trevor Joseph, you're watching Rolling Slow Media, and this is a story about one man's obsession with the Porsche 911 996 Aero. Dan,
hello mate.
Thank you so much for coming on the channel and bringing me down to your
Porsche little heaven.
Your den.
Yeah, the crib.
The man cave.
Yes.
Dude, how come you have so many 996s? What's the story?
Well, where do we start? I'm obviously a bit addicted to Porsches.
A bit.
Yeah, 996 is kind of it's a generational thing. I think when we spoke about like the V-dub thing, I think you go for a series of...
This guy's a V-dub man.
Yeah,
what did I say? Porsche guys used to be V-dub guys.
It's so true. It's so true. I might meet so many people like you in the scene that we've evolved from Volkswagen into Porsche, which ironically, so is the brand.
Yeah.
Because Porsche itself now is owned by Volkswagen.
Exactly.
And then if you go back all those years ago, how they developed cars together anyway. Yeah. Like the 944, with the Audi connections.
Yeah.
So
they're all cousins.
Yeah, they're all cousins. It's
He's got a sweet 16 valve parked around the corner. I'm gonna make him pull the cover off so we can take a nice look at it, you know.
G60 as well, and I've got a modified 2.1 16 valve on car.
So now we have to come back.
Yeah, do a V-dub day. But
yeah,
the 996s for me, I think I always find the build quality and the reliability and just the strength for these cars, drivability, the analog feel is all best in the 90s. And this is across all cars, BMW, Volkswagen, Audi and Porsche. And for me, I was born 1980. So as a child, you grow up looking at these Porsches, you know, which would have been 993, 964s. And then when you're old enough to drive, I passed my test in 97, 98, that was launched, the 996. So it was the poster car in a way, because it was the newest, latest Porsche. You just got your license, you're behind the wheel. So already there's a connection to these vehicles. The year they're launched is the year I learned to drive.
Yeah. You know what it's a bit like? It's a bit like the music that you listen to when you're a kid is the music that you will continue listening to as you get older. Like when you're an older person, you're not listening to like 16 and 70-year-old rappers or singers, you know, you're listening to the stuff that you kind of grew up on. So it's the same. These cars, you grew up seeing them around, and now you're at that point you can own them, and you're like, they're the ones.
It's like an aspirational thing as well, because of course these cars would have been owned by quite wealthy people, because there were quite a lot of money then. You know, in 1997, the price of one of these would be 65, 70,000. You could buy a house for that, Trevor. Yeah. You could buy a house for that, which is the same as today. A new 911 being 200 grand. Exactly. You can't actually buy a house for that, can you? Not in the south of England.
Maybe far up north.
Yeah, there's an aspirational part of that, and it's just a connection in your timeline of your life of where that particular car fits. And I think when I got into Porsches, I started with the Boxster because it was cheaper and it was just affordable. Really knocked me how good that car was. And then I got my first 996 911. Blew me away, and then I progressed up the chain into a 996.2, a 997, and then I sold a 996.2 C4S, which is the car I always wanted. Didn't really love it, didn't fall in love with it, and took in part exchange a 98 cable throttle Gen 1 996. Drove that home and just was like, blew my socks off, and I was like, I want to go back. I want to go back into the Gen 1 996s. And then of course you aspire to the GT3. That's the car, it's the holy grail.
The poster car, isn't it?
The poster car of the 996, the GT3. Worked out I could get that much money together, borrow that much money, and go GT3 shopping. And there just wasn't any choice on the market, and the prices. And the car I went to see was just a mess. And then all of a sudden I thought, hang on a minute, the Aero. Looks like a GT3. It's got all that rawness, cable throttles, you can get all of the, you know, the same stuff, but at a smidgen of the cost.
So is that how your Aero obsession started?
Yeah,
because you
it did.
couldn't, like the GT3 you saw, just it kind of let you down. Like your the idea of aspirations of owning one was like, do I need to now that I can pick up one of these?
Yeah, I think that, you know, I went there with the budget. The car was £63,000, and I was borrowing more than half of that amount of that money to actually get in there. So I was stretched. There wouldn't have been any money to spend on repairs or maintenance or restoration or work. When I turned up to the car, it was in very poor state. In my opinion, it needed a load of work. I wouldn't have had that money. So then I looked into the Aeros and saw, you know, they were in the teens, 20 grand, less than 20 grand. So I thought, I'll build my own GT3. So I went out and I hunted down a cable throttle, LSD, raw C2 early as possible. I got a 97 car, not one of these, believe it or not. There's another one, Trev. And yeah, got this car and I called it DTC, and that's where DTC comes from. It's an adaptation of Dance Timeless Classics, but also GT3, so the font is the same. And I'm building my own version, so my intention is to make the car 10% lighter, 10% faster, more horsepower. So the percentage will make it lighter and faster than the GT3.
I like the idea of, you know, maybe feeling like a GT3 is a bit out of your reach, but you can build your own. And you can build your own over time. So it's not like you said, spending 60 grand on the car, plus you may have to spend another 20 to get it up to what you want. But then you spend 20 grand on a car, and now you've got that budget to really like tune the car into how you want it to be.
That's exactly how I look at it. If this GT3 was going to cost 63 grand and then owe me 80, this one can owe me 80. When it's done, it doesn't matter. It's the same monetary value in the end. But the difference is you get the journey of building this car and actually coming out the end of it with something that's probably lighter, faster, and better. And you did it. It's yours.
Exactly. And you know every single nut and bolt. You know every single creak.
Everything about it. You've done everything. You've been through the car from the front light bulb to the rear exhaust tip. You know that car.
So which one of these is like the one you're building? Or what's going on?
So DTC is not even in the shot. DTC is around the back. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So DTC is about to come into here, and it's going to have a roof swap. I'm actually taking the roof off and putting a carbon fibre roof on it, which is insane. And I'm going to do it myself as well, just to be really crazy. And these cars
Can you even do that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's not convertible.
No. Well, the roof itself is actually just a cover. The structural parts are untouched. So you're actually just peeling the skin off like a tin of canned beans, spot welded on.
How much weight are you going to save?
That's about 40 kilo saving. So that's a massive saving because it's got a sunroof car. So a non-sunroofed car to a sunroof car is about 30-35 kilos difference anyway. And then of course you've got the weight of the metal roof versus a carbon roof. So it's about 40-45 kilo weight saving.
Any other weight savings anywhere else?
Massive, you know, interior strip out, wheels, brake. I'm already over 100 kilos lighter. I weighed the car when I started. I set a target of 1,300 kilos to get under. I believe I'm going to smash that.
Lightweight wheels?
Yeah, lightweight wheels. I think the long-term goal will be 1,200 kilos, which is really light, and then get the horsepower up to kind of 350. You're talking about you hunting 991 GT3s then at that point.
That's going to be
power to weight ratio.
And this is just pure track or fast
It's
road?
a fast road car. It's always got to be road legal, so it's got to be a fast road car because I like to drive to an event. Drive to a track day, but it is a track car as well. I have tracked the car several times, and this year already I've got 6 tracks booked, including Nürburgring and Spa, so it's got to go on track. It's got to be a race car.
So this one here that's stripped, because when I came in, I thought this was the race car. I was like, I swear this doesn't look like the car.
This is the donor car, Trevor. So when you start messing with this many cars, it's easier to have a donor car. So this was this is a 98 cable throttle And it was an aero car as well. But the demand for the aero product now, everyone wants an aero car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've done that or John's done that or we've done it together, but we've certainly created a following. You know, you've got the Pinky's Tacos Club now. So there was a lot of money in the kit. It had a roll cage, had carbon buckets. So I bought the car, sold off the valuable parts I didn't really need to get the rest almost as my profit. So now I've got bolts, switches, window regulators, radio bits. You know, it's an endless tray of parts.
Right.
And,
so instead of like going on eBay, you just come out.
I just come out to the yard.
The basket.
I just built one recently for 911 Singer, you know, from the channel. He wanted an Aero, so I just built him an Aero. And there's about 10 parts off that car on his already, including the entire door locking system.
So would you say like the 996s at this point in time are a good, I won't say investment, but can you buy, like you said, you buy in, taking parts off, you sold those parts. Can you do that and not lose money? I would say.
Yeah, I think that
for anyone who's kind of thinking about.
Yeah, I think in the 911 world, the 996 is still the value car. 997s are getting real good value as well now. But as you know, there's bore score issues to overcome there. So you really want to kind of buy a built engine one. Then people will want a lot more money. So the 996 is an area where a lot of people can get in the teens, you know, under £20,000.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same journey as all the 911s do. They go through an era of being hated, slated, disloved. No one wants them. And then all of a sudden they turn a corner and the 964 done the same thing. And a lot of younger guys are buying these 996s with the intention to modify them.
Yeah.
Customize them, personalize them. Bigger wheels, lower stance. It's that V-dub thing coming through, Trev, into the 996 world, and it's creating a vibe that I think will raise prices. So I think if you buy one now, particularly an aero car, because that's going to be a real big hitter.
Can you buy, because I've had a look online and I'm not really seeing any aero cars. I'm seeing a lot of 996s. But how available are the Aero kits?
Not available, the parts are really hard to find. There are copycat fiberglass kits on the market, which, you know, the problem with fiberglass is it chips and cracks and stuff like that. The original stuff, the front bumper and side skirts are ABS plastics. What a lot of people don't know is the original Aero wings are fiberglass. And then they're made in France. They're not actually made in Germany.
Right. Can you still get them?
No. So this is the problem. The parts as a replacement have now become shelved as a classic part. So the prices, Porsche can get you a front bumper, but you're looking at somewhere between 12 and 18 weeks, and somewhere in the region of 4,000 to 5,000.
Oh, you know when you said 12 to 18, I thought that was pounds.
No, 4,000 to 5,000 pounds in monetary value. So
it's like, invest in Porsche Aero front bumpers. So, top tip from Rolling Slow Media.
Suddenly, an Aero car for 20 grand is a bargain, because the front bumper, the rear wing, and the side skirts have a second-hand value today of £5,000 to £6,000 as a combination.
Insane.
In fact, this car here, the wing was sold off this car here in 10 minutes flat for £2.5 grand, and straight away there was people saying they would have paid £3.
Really?
Yeah, they're that popular now.
So there is actually, what's that term? Is it old money?
Old money, new money.
There's old money in these cars.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you could go and buy a poor engined, I've done it, Aero car and break it for a profit. Exactly like the VW scene as well, Trev. You remember the big bumper cars and the rallies and all that? You know, there was a time where you could buy a big bumper Golf and break it, because everybody wanted the bumper kit, didn't they? Everyone with the skinny bumpers wanted the big bumpers, the bigger window doors, not the quarter windows. And now
how trends change.
Some of those trends went back, didn't they? There was about 10 years ago, people started putting skinny bumpers back on and started putting quarter windows back on. So we might find these bumpers come back in fashion, and no wings and stuff like that.
I do feel like you said just earlier, how the 964s just sort of skyrocketed in price. now you have the 996s. They're still below,
relatively
they're
low,
still at that bottom of that curve.
Yeah.
But that curve is starting to rise.
Yeah,
and
well,
people are starting to clock on.
It already did. As we went into lockdown, we saw the curve come. A lot of stuff went up, so it was a bit of a false economy because everything went up. But we did see 996s. That whole, you can get a 996 for under 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah.
There was a moment a few years ago where you could buy 996s for under £10,000. Now you can only buy broken ones. Engine failure. I mean, I paid that nearly for that car. One with engine problems, lots of mileage, automatics, convertible, least desirable model. Yeah, so we are seeing the 964 curve history repeat itself. Yeah. And a lot of it is driven by a younger audience. It's on trend to now have a 996.
It's that 90s vibe, isn't it?
It is the 90s vibe.
The 90s style music is coming back, 90s fashion's coming back.
Nail on the head. Cars. Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, Mark Morrison. Look at the reels people were doing. Look at the music. Yeah. Running up the hill from, 80s, 90s vibe just coming into TV shows. What was on Netflix the other day? Roadhouse. Yeah. All these old movies coming back, and these are the cars of that era.
Resurgence.
Yeah, resurgence. We've been through the 70s, we've done the 80s, and now the 90s is having its moments.
So top tip, guys.
Anything from the 90s.
The next resurgence is going to be 2000.
Yeah, 2000. I think you will, Yeah. I think, honestly, the 997 will have its day as well. Yeah. The prices are coming down on those cars that they're getting really affordable. A lot of the problem cars will get dealt with. Yes, and then suddenly they'll all be reliable. Yeah. They'll all have these engine builds and bores done and all that. Yeah. They'll be 20 grand. They'll be so affordable for everyone. Yeah. And watch the Aeros go on them as well.
Yeah. So I guess a question for anybody that is looking to get into a Porsche, like a 996. How easy is it for a noob to jump in and own and maintain, or do you still need to go to a Porsche specialist? Can you manage these cars? Can you look after these cars yourself?
Yeah, I think a lot of us old VW guys did things ourselves. We are hands-on, we are spanners people. We will change suspension coil springs on our driveway. Yeah. If you're like that, you're winning. You can do this easily. Yeah. If you're not, and you've got no mechanical knowledge, you really need to go to someone. You get on the forums, get on Instagram. Yeah. Not so much the forums actually, but get on Instagram, go to the Porsche meets, talk to people, follow people around, see what cars are for sale. And if you can buy a car out of the community, it's a lot better because people will know about that car. They'll know, oh, he's really good with those, and oh, he gets that work done at Spider, this one, or that gets done at Phil Raby's. Yeah. And you can always get the history of that car. Like Paul owned it, then Dave owned it, then Dan owns it now. And there's a story there.
That's one of the things I like about the Porsche scene is the community is quite warm and friendly. And that's how I met you. And I met
that's how we've all met.
And most of the cars I've filmed have been people that I've met at meets. And you come to a meet and everybody is really... they're really open, and
it doesn't matter what car you've got either, does it? I mean, people pulling in a
992 GT3 or a 996.
I've seen guys pulling in a £3,000 924 Rust Bucket, and they're respected the same as the guy behind him who's driving the GT3 RS Gen 2. Okay, he's getting more people taking pictures, but at some point in that day, someone's going to go up to that guy with a 924 and talk to him, and talk to him about his car, and take a picture of it because they like it and it appeals to them. And you know what's really funny, Trev? Sometimes it's the guy out the £250,000 one. Yeah. He's the guy that walks around and goes, I had one of these. Yeah. I love this. I actually like this better than my £250,000 GT3.
Because he can drive it hard.
It takes him back to the time when he had it and the analogness and all that, and now he's driving this computer-driven robot car that actually he really appreciates what you've got.
So what is the deal with the Boxster?
What's
happening with that? Because I do like these.
Yeah.
I have a question about these. Okay. It's kind of related to the 996.
I have a soft spot for Boxsters. So my Porsche journey started with a Boxster. Yeah. And although this is a modern Boxster, the 986 Boxster to me is a 996. It's the same car. Fundamentally, from the front seat forward, it's the same car. you know, we can argue the toss about rear engine, mid-engined all day, but mid-engined is a true sports car build. So to be able to have, in theory, 3/4 of a 996, an engine in the middle like a Ferrari, for £5,000, why would you not?
They are super cheap.
And when you get in them and drive them, they don't feel £5,000. They drive like these cars. They drive like the best of them.
For someone that wants to get into a Porsche and they consider a Boxster, are you going to have the same issues and the same hurdles as you would a 996?
Yeah, I think the hurdles and the issues we have on these cars and what people don't realize is age. It's their age. They are, you know, this is a 2001 car, this is a 98, this is a 97. 27 years old. It's done over 100,000 miles. That is wear. That is age and wear. Deterioration of rubber, plastic, copper. Everything has a shelf life, and that's their car's Achilles heels. It's not IMS or ball score. That's
all
nonsense.
the little things, isn't it?
It's deterioration and age, and everything has either broke, it's gonna break, or you might start thinking about doing something to it before it breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you the Golfs now.
Yes, you know what? We're gonna cut to some shots of the Golf because the Golf is nice.
All the rubbish up in. Shut up, dog. Go on, get that dog in, love. Well, it's the first time I've seen it for months. Luckily, not too much water in there, but oh man, people will cry if they saw the mould on the £2,000 9FF seats. So you can see the bonnet's a raw, genuine GT3 RS carbon fibre bonnet. And yeah, they only come in white gel coat, so you can't get them carbon on the other side. They're always gel coated. The originals are anyway. So I had the other side wrapped in carbon so that it looks as good as the inside. Because the inside looks mega, doesn't it?
Let's take a look.
But yeah, I've still got loads of weight to take off this. So obviously the roof, I'm putting a polycarbonate rear screening. The bumper bars are coming off, the washer jet system's coming off, the headlights. There's just so many little things you can take off and save like grams and grams, but it just keeps adding up. You just keep putting more and more stuff, taking more and more stuff off. It's got a lightweight Mini Cooper S battery in it, which only weighs 7 kilos. Because this one's like really like stripped out and it looks horrible.
Let's have a look.
You want to have a look at it?
Yeah,
this one's right in par.
For all the VW fans, all you Porsche guys that used to be VW guys, this is what Dan's got hidden away.
One of them. Should be bright metallic blue, not very bright at the moment though. But yeah, this one needs full restoration. But this is a friend's car. Goes back in my sort of VW friends for about 25 years. This car goes back with a couple of different friends. So I think this is the one that my son will build. I've kind of bought it now, ready for when he's 17. It's the G60 interior, isn't it? Edition 1. The steering wheel almost looks Alcantara with the mould on it, doesn't it? But I kind of sort of think this could be the kid's project. You know, he's only 9, but when he's 17, if this is still tucked away somewhere, and he says, Dad, I want to build a really cool car. And I say, what about a retro Golf like your dad built? And he goes, yeah, I want to build he'd probably want to build a Tesla or something, wouldn't he?
Put electric in it.
Yeah, and really upset me. But hopefully they say, no, I want to build something cool and old school. And I say, how about a Mark II Golf? And they go, yeah, where are we going to find one? I go, actually, son, I got one tucked away we can build. I love the wheels on these as well. She's not rotten, just the bottom of the rear seals where the water drains got blocked have rotted through. But the general gist of the chassis is really straight. It'd have to be a bare shell, you know, proper acid dipped and start from scratch. But yeah, you know, time will come when building a car like this will be worth doing, you know, and it'll be a 50 grand car or something at the end.
They're already sort of prices are climbing to that point, aren't they?
They're still behind everything else of their ear though, aren't they? Fords are worth more. If this was an RS Turbo on a G-Reg,
yeah, true,
they're worth twice the money. And Renault 5s, whilst, you know, but these were better cars. They were better cars, but more of them survived. They're not rare, are they, in comparison?
Yeah, there's still a lot on the market. You can still pick these up, but the prices are rising.
They are rising. Yeah,
you're not picking up unless you get like a
rallies and that have gone crazy. I mean, obviously the thing that creates prices is rarity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they sold more of these than they did Renaults and Fords, and more of them because they were better cars, more survived.
Yeah.
So I think the Fords and the Renaults, they were just crushed. They were been recycled into something.
Modded them, raced them, crashed them.
You know, whereas these, we all kept them nice. We all looked after them. Might be the same story with the 996 because it's not rare and they've lasted. So will there be more out there? So, but yeah, I'll get this one done. Get her done. She'll be on track August the 6th. And if not, I'm gonna not be very happy with myself.
I'm gonna have to come along with you, man, to document that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I better be done.
Dan.
Brilliant,
cheers, buddy.
Thanks very much.
a lot, man. Great to come down.
Yeah. You're welcome, man. Anytime. And you have to follow the progress and come down and do DTC.
Definitely.
And then we'll do a whole nother day for the golf.
We're coming back, guys. Yeah, we'll check out the golf as well.
See you again soon.
Hey guys, we've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. Big shout to Dan for allowing me to come down and film his lovely collection of 996s. He is truly obsessed, but for me that feels like a healthy obsession. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video. Until then, take care, peace.